Hi guys, Kim here, welcome to Backyard Blooms. In today's video we're going to talk about rose care. I have a lot of David Austin roses in my garden and I planted them all from bare root. They all came from the David Austin website and they are an English type rose and they do very well here in Zone 8, Charlotte, North Carolina. So today I'm going to just show you what I'm going to do here in November for rose care and go over some of the products that I really like and kind of give you my routine throughout the year. So today I got my hands on some of this Espoma Organic Land and Sea. You've seen these in my videos prior because this is what I always throw a couple of handfuls into my hole along with biotone to amend my soil when I plant. But today I'm just going to top dress my roses with this product and I'm going to try to give back some good nutrients into the ground that these roses have taken out of the ground throughout the season. So this is what this product looks like. And I'm going to share with you how I top dress that also. So when you're dealing with roses, you want to make sure you're protecting your hands because they are very thorny and you don't want to mess up your hands. You want them to look pretty for everybody. I don't really have any special recommendation for gloves, but these are what I use and I get these from Pike Nursery. So just make sure you have some type of glove. I have heard that Felco makes a really nice glove and I like to get my hands on it, so that might be something that I actually purchase soon, and those are called Felco gloves. So the next thing that I love when I'm taking care of my roses is a really good, nice pair of pruners. And I love these Felco 2 pruners. They have a nice spring back action right here that you can see, and they just fit really good into your hands. So invest in some really nice Felco 2 pruners. They have some in different sizes, but really, like, I have a small hand and they're made not just for just a small hand, but they fit really good. So you can like bring your hand up here or you can like have it back here as well. So yep, the Felco 2 pruners are an absolute must when taking care of roses. What I want to talk about is fertilizing in the springtime. So right now, these roses are still producing a lot of blooms for me, but they do take some, a good amount of fertilizer in the growing season. So one of the type of products that I really love, and it takes care of at least 3 different things, is the Bio Advanced 3-in-1 Rose Care. So it actually fertilizes, and I put this down each month. I do have this on auto ship, so I have at least 2 of these, and I could probably actually do 3 or 4 each month actually, because I go through it quite fast and I have several David Austin roses. And it also takes care of insect control. It says Japanese beetles, aphids, and caterpillars and other listed pests. Now, I still actually have to add a little bit more to my roses because we do struggle so bad with the Japanese beetles in June. Sometimes they're called June bugs or June beetles, but June is definitely the season that we battle those with. And then also disease control. So even though these David Austin roses are bred to be a great disease resistant, we still have a high climate here with humidity and heat. So we're still gonna struggle a little bit with that. And black spot can look very ugly on your leaves, so I'm gonna try to be proactive and do anything that I can to have my roses and leaves look the best that I can. So in this product, fertilizer, insect control, and disease control right here, all 3-in-1. And actually, the David Austin website recommends this product as well. Another type of fertilizer that I like to use on my roses and like all the way through my garden in the springtime especially is the Espoma slow release products. So this is plant tone, which I'll use for all my evergreens. Like I do have sprinter boxwoods that are all the way around my David Austin roses. So in the springtime, I'm gonna say late March, I'm gonna put a real healthy dose of every plant that I have in my garden with either plant tone, rose tone, or holly tone. And the biotone is also made from Espoma, but that's what I use when I'm planting the plants. So the rose tone for all my evergreens, and then definitely in the springtime, I'm gonna put a good cup to 2 cupfuls of this product around my roses, around the base, and that's gonna give them a good start for the season. So even after March, I tend to also reapply again. Maybe I'm gonna say June or July, that I'll put another dose of rose tone on these roses, because again, they're producing a heck of a lot of blooms for me and gives me a lot of color. So I just want to make sure that they have enough nutrients, because just like they need food and water just like we need food and water to be able to grow and perform well in your garden. The next product that I'm going to tell you about is Rose RX right here. So in the springtime, you're gonna have these nasty little teeny tiny creatures called aphids all over your new growth. And this Rose RX will take care of that. So this is gonna actually go right directly sprayed onto the plant, where my Bio Advance that I just talked to you about the 3-in-1 rose care, is a granular, and it's gonna go at the bottom of the plant. And I'll show you today as well what that product looks like. And I normally would not apply that this time of year, but since I'm doing this video, I'm gonna at least just show you how I apply that Rose Bio Advance 3-in-1 rose care. But this is great for those little aphids, and it also is a fungicide and prevents those little spider mites as well. So I know that these Sprinter boxwoods get spider mite also, so this is also a product that I can just spray at one time. Spray my roses and spray my Sprinter boxwoods for those little spider mites. So love this product as well. The next product that I'm going to talk about today that you need to keep on hand that is good for lots of different things, not just roses, is this liquid copper fungicide. And it's kind of looks like that. As you can see, I just spilled it on me a little bit. But anyways, this product is really good for black spot, and whenever you have humid climate like we do, it's just like a battle to prevent that. And of course, I like to keep my roses looking really healthy and my leaves looking nice and green. So when I do see some black spot, I will start treating that with this. And also, it's very good for my hydrangeas, and I've been putting it on one of my Oakland holly trees that has been battling with some fungus as well. And then the next product that you need to keep on hand is called liquid iron. So not all the time, but just occasionally, sometimes our ground or our hard clay does lack iron, especially with some of the hollies. I see a lot of the hollies not looking real deep and green. Well, this is what you need for that, because who doesn't want deep green leaves, you know? I mean, I do. So a lot of times on the leaves, and I have one of these roses, just one out of all the like 18 to 20 roses that I have, had a little bit of chlorosis. And when you can see that is when the leaves aren't real deep green, and you can start seeing some of the veining in the leaves as well. So that's what chlorosis looks like, and this is how you treat it, is with this liquid iron. So I've already told you that I like the rose flower care, the Bio Advance, the 3-in-1. So for every single rose that I have, and I have 5 roses in this area right here, I'm going to put 1 capsule around. So that's where most of my, believe it or not, all my root systems is. So that's where I'm going to like put this product around the perimeter of it. Valentine's Day, that's the time that you're going to do a hard prune on these roses. So right now my plant is probably about 3.5 to 4 feet tall, and you can see the base right here where the stems come out of the ground, and I'm going to prune it in February around Valentine's Day, so that's always easy to remember, to about 18 inches off the ground. So about right here is where I'm going to do my hard prune. And I'm not really necessarily going to do my hard prune now because I don't want to take a risk of any of the winter damage, and then it's really not necessary. I still have a lot of interest, I still have blooms, and if you want to like mound it up and make it like really pretty, if you got like a really long cane, you can go ahead and trim that up as well. And when I turn the camera around, I'm going to show you how I deadhead my roses and how you can just shape your rose up as well. But while I'm down here, we're gonna throw this land and seed compost around the roses. There's really no need to move your mulch back because this product is just gonna soak in through the mulch and give your roses all the nutrient that it needs anyway. And this particular rose is called Boscabelle, and you can see that I'm still having some real pretty blooms and some real pretty color here. I actually have 5 roses in this area, and I have 18 boxwoods in this surrounding area, just in this little one quadrant. And in my rose garden, I do have like a paver patio, a little sitting area. You can see the products that I just talked about there. This is my sprinter boxwoods. And then let me just pan around here for you. There's that brand new lavender that we just, phenomenal lavender that we just planted. And this is Alexandra of Kent. And then you can see my paver patio. And this one over here is Eustacia Ive. And then Gabrielle Oak. And you can see all my mess. And then back to our rose that we're going to talk about right here. So this is the rose that I talked about that has some chlorosis that I've been treating. So you can see that it's real yellow type leaves. That is what black spot looks like. So we're never going to ever prevent all of it, but just try to. You can see where these are like a little bit more limier green, and then of course the real dark green foliage. And that's what we're after, is that dark green foliage right there. So still need to apply some iron to these roses, so next year they'll be real deep in green. Now this rose right here doesn't have a lot of blooms on it, so I could shape it up if I liked. And then, so just let me show you how I'm gonna do that. So like I said, we're not gonna do a hard prune until February, but if I had any long canes, then I could go ahead and just cut this rose up. But I'm not really seeing, like I could probably just go ahead and cut here. I'd probably cut this down just a little bit more. And this is a little bit longer cane right here. I have no buds on that, so I can just probably go ahead and take that down a little bit. And then I'm gonna leave this one because I have a bud about ready to pop out right there. So that's how you can prune these roses if you like this time of year. Of course, I've got some really long canes here, as you can see. And I just deadheaded these a little bit yesterday, so I don't have any big long canes to show you to prune. Now once this is a spent bloom and these are gone, then I'm going to take this plant all the way back down to here at least, so it'll be nice and tidy. Just have enough of the stems that comes right above my boxwoods there. So that's how I'm going to prune that. And then as far as deadheading, like we can see one right here. So this is a spent bloom right here. And then let me show you the stem. So whenever you deadhead, you want to go back to a set of 5 leaves, and that's where your new growth is going to be. I'm not really expecting a lot of new growth this time of year. So if you really wanted to like take this back a little bit further, you can, but I'm going to take it all the way back to this one right here and just cut it with my pruners, and you can see that I have 5 leaves right there. Now in the springtime, you want to also think about your new growth. So you don't want to encourage, if I pruned here, my new growth is going to go that way inside these plants. So I don't really want to encourage that. So the best thing that I should have done is take it to here, which that's only 3 leaves, it should be 5, and have my growth go out this way, if that makes any sense. So at least deadhead at least once a week. I don't really want to get overwhelmed with deadheading a lot of blooms all at one time. So for me, I feel like it's easier to inspect my roses at least once a week, and I go ahead and deadhead anything that needs to be deadheaded. And then when my bio advance comes in every single month, I go ahead and just apply that to my roses. So I know that my roses are being taken care of for fertilizer and disease. And like I said, February 14th is the best time, and it's easy to remember. Rose, and then Valentine's Day is when you can go ahead and do a hard prune. And you could do it after that if it's not exactly the middle of February, but before your plant starts to put on some new growth, it is going to thank you, and it will bloom a lot better if you do a really hard prune on these roses. I do have these roses on drip, so they get an adequate amount of water here. And I told you we have hot, humid climates in the summertime, so my roses are really thankful for constant water. And then all my roses, again, were planted bare root from David Austin, and I'll put that website up for there. And then of course these David Austin roses do really well, and my favorite in my garden is this Boscobel and the Gabrielle oak, and I have some Munstead wood that's coming that I'm really excited about that, and I'll throw up some pictures of what my Munstead wood is going to look like. So I'm really happy that I'm going to be able to share like how I plant a bare root. I know some of you halfway across the world are already starting to get your David Austin roses because it's a different season for you. When you get your David Austin roses in the mail, make sure that you are soaking those roots for 2 to 4 hours, just like the instructions say. And these roses like to have the real rich, moist soil for them to survive. So make sure you're putting compost in your holes. And David Austin has a great instruction booklet, so just follow that to a T. And when you're ordering your David Austin roses, make sure you go ahead and order that root stimulator that comes with it to give these plants a really great start. And right now, if you want to go ahead and order these, I would highly suggest that, because if you have a rose that you really want and it's in stock right now, go ahead and pay for it, and they will ship it to you when it is your planting time season. So when it comes, I'm going to say April, and you really want a rose, it is not going to be available, because these are highly sought after roses and they're beautiful, and I absolutely do think that they're very worth taking care of in my garden.